Hello, welcome back. So this is going to be day 2 of properties of exponents. So we learned quite a few properties in the previous video, and today we're going to combine them together to evaluate some different expressions. So you're going to want to keep in mind all of the ones we learned from the previous video. It might be helpful if you have those notes in front of you, or you're easily able to access them. So if we look at example 1, we have -2 to the -8th power and -2 to the 4th power. So these two numbers, the -2's, are being multiplied. And so when things are being multiplied, so you add the exponents, because multiplication goes with addition. So this is going to be equal to -2 to the -8 plus 4 power, and -8 plus 4, -2 to the -4th power. Now, you can never ever leave a negative in your answer. So, since we have a negative exponent, we have to flip to denominator. Because this is in the numerator, or it's a whole number, we have to flip it to the denominator. So now we're going to have 1 over -2 to the 4th power. You leave whatever, if this is a negative, this stays a negative, but since we're taking it to the bottom, that's why the negative on the 4 goes away. Our goal is to get rid of the negative on the exponent. So now, if in your calculator, or if you just happen to know, -2 to the 4th power is a positive 16. So our final answer would be 1 over 16 for this problem. You just kind of go step by step through. So we added the exponents because we were being multiplied. It became a negative, so we flipped it to the bottom, and then we just evaluated the numbers, and that's how we got to the 16. All right, we're going to look at example 2. And so we have a number that is outside of parentheses, and whenever you have a number outside of the parentheses, we have to distribute. So distribute to both pieces. All right, so we're going to have the 2 to the 5 and the 2 to the 3. So in this case, this will equal 5 times 2, and 3 times 2. And so we have the two exponents are being multiplied. So this equals 3 to the 10th power over 3 to the 6th power. Now, this is division. Division means subtraction. And since division means subtraction, this would be equal to 3 to the 10 minus 6 power. And 10 minus 6 is 4. So we have 3 to the 4th power. And 3 to the 4th power is 81. All right, so we're going to recap. We had a 2 on the outside, so we distributed it to both the top and the bottom. We multiplied the exponents together, so that's how we got the 10 and the 6. This is they're being divided, so we have to subtract the exponents. So 10 minus 6 would be 4, and 3 to the 4th power is 81. And we have two more we're going to do. So this is just more simplifying. So in this case, we have the 2 on the outside. So we're going to distribute the 2 to both pieces. All right, so it becomes, you got to do it to the x and to the negative 3. So this would be equal to x squared over y to the negative 3 times 2. And so negative 3 times 2. So we still have our x squared over y to the negative 6. Now we cannot leave our answer like this. This is a big no-no because we have this negative right here. This negative exponent is a big no-no. And so because we have a negative exponent, we need to flip. Now, it does not mean that you just take this fraction right here and you flip it upside down. What it does mean is that we are going to take this bottom piece and we are going to kick it to the top. So this means that the x squared is going to stay at the top because that's a positive, so we don't want to touch it. But now we're going to take this and it's going to be y to the 6th power. And that is your final answer. You only move the piece that is related to the negative. So we took the number on the outside, distributed it to both on the inside. So then you have x squared. Here we had negative 3 and 2, which turned into the negative 6. You can't have negative, so we have to flip it and kick it up to the top. Alrighty, one more problem right here. So the first thing we have to start with is we have this 2 right here. So we have to distribute the 2 to both pieces. So now we have 5 squared y to the negative 3 times 2, y to the 5th, and y. All right, now let's first start by simplifying. So 5 squared is 25. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then we just bring down our y to the 5th and our y. Now we have lots of y's here. And so all of these pieces are being multiplied. And multiplied means add. So in this case, this is going to be equal to 25y negative 6 plus 5 plus 1. And negative 6 plus 5 plus 1. This is going to be equal to 25y to the 0 power. And anything to the 0 power equals 1. So this really is 25 times 1 or 25. This one, again, you just got to keep thinking of all the different steps. So if we first start, you distribute the 2 to both the pieces on the inside of the parentheses. So that's how we got 5 squared and y to the negative 3 times 2. We simplified to get 25 and y to the negative 6. All of these have the same base. They're all y's. Since they're being multiplied, we add the exponents together. So we did negative 6 plus 5 plus 1. And that equals 0. So we have 25 to the y to the 0. And anything to the 0 power is just 1. So 25 times 1 is just 25. You now have 12 homework problems to work on. If you have any questions, send me a message on Schoology, an email, or my Google Voice, and I would love to help you. Have a wonderful day.